need to connect
What? Oh,
my headphones. 1 second.
don't worry about it. Um, yeah, I cannot believe in having you. It's crazy.
I'm real, I promise.
I watch your videos on YouTube, like I really do. And
That's awesome.
well, you're kind of my age. You're 18, I think. Yeah, I'm 17. You just got out of high school. I will get out of high school in a couple of months. So yeah, holy cow. It's a pleasure having you, Max.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. I'm excited to see how this goes.
And yeah, this is like a little project of mine, talking to cool people like you. And let's say, what do you think of college, Max? I've seen.
Well, I'm not in college yet.
Yeah, but like, what do you think of the idea of college? Because you said that you wanted to take like a gap year.
Yeah. Sorry. So yeah, I'm taking a gap year and postponing going to college for a year. And I mean, it's a broad question, you know. There's so many things I think about college. I think it's a great opportunity for so many people and a great place for you to, you know, develop as a person. And yeah, do you have a more specific question? I want to make sure I'm answering the right part of that.
Oh no, like here it's like just talk. That's
just casual. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. No, but what do you think of you going to college? What do you think of what college could mean to you?
Yeah. In all honesty, I think about it a lot, and I talk about it with my parents, my friends, other people who, you know, do YouTube and have decided to go to college or decided to drop out. And it's really hard to say where I'll be in a year from now. But I'm torn because it's not like all or nothing. You know, there's some great things about college, and there's some things that maybe aren't as appealing about college. And then the same thing goes to, you know, if I don't go to college, it's a lot more risk, you know, like it's scary. The world is wide open. And I think where I'm at now is I'm actually trying not to think about it and not to put pressure on myself to come up with a definite answer. I just want to see, you know, what would it actually be like if I was a full-time content creator, you know? What if I was doing this as my job? What would that feel like? And so that's why I wanted to take a gap year, because maybe I actually don't enjoy this. Maybe I just want to go to college. Who knows? So yeah, I just kind of want to give myself the opportunity to see what it might be like if I don't go.
But if you were to go, what would you study?
Another good question. I'm not entirely sure, because when I think of myself, I'm more like entrepreneurial minded, you know, like I want to be creating businesses and running them. And when you go to college, I guess you could get a business degree, but I feel like you'd learn a lot more by actually running a business. And I don't know, I'm fascinated by, you know, psychology. And I think it's important to know things about the world and history. I think there's a lot we can learn from history. And I think I'll probably end up getting a liberal arts degree of some sort.
You know, I think the same. I've talked to some businessmen, to some entrepreneurs, and they always say that psychology is such a crucial part of it. Like, if you have as big as your enterprise can be, humans, we have like so much emotions around us, so much people around us, so much things to go through. The psychology is really, really important. And if you want to have a good enterprise, a successful one, psychology should be a big part of your employees. And that's a little nice to think about. History too. I love history. That's, to me, my favorite subject at school. It's social studies, because we get to learn a lot about history. I'm not a big school guy. I get good grades because that's what my parents like always have said. Get good grades, pay attention. But I don't really enjoy it. Like I don't enjoy chemistry class, not at all.
Same, same.
But there's some parts of social studies that I really do enjoy, and that's I didn't know you liked a lot history. That's
Hmm.
that's really nice.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah,
It all. Sorry.
don't worry.
No, just following off of what you said. Yeah, I think something I've realized, and also through talking to people, is that it all comes down to our mind at the end of the day. You know, if you're an athlete, it all matters. Like your mind is so important. If you're running a business, the people who are working for you, it all comes back to their mind. It's like no matter where you go in your life, you can't escape from people, their brains, their emotions. And I feel like once you could have a better understanding of the mind and how we all work, then you can really go out into the world and try to do things, you know?
That's real. And at the end of the day, if you go or if you don't go, it's like a win-win scenario. Like imagine if you don't go. If you don't go, you're in this weird place that you don't know anything about. And you're going to like when you get out, you're going to get so like so passionate. Well, not well, yes, passionate too, but so happy to have passed
Mm,
through that, to have passed through a lot of uncomfortness and through
yeah,
all that difficult stuff. And if you do go, you get to know people, you get to um, study of something you like, something you find interesting. So I see it that way too.
yeah. It's hard because there's no right decision, you know? It's like there are things about college that you can do without college. You know, I can still meet people, I can still study, I can still learn, you know, with the internet, anything is possible. So it's like, where's the value coming from in going to college, or where's the value going from, you know, not going to college? And it's hard because there is no right decision, you know?
To me, the best part of it, about college are the relations. So
Mm,
those colleges like Stanford, that the famous Stanford, that the famous videos you made us wait a lot of time to, to see if you got in or not. Um,
waited a lot of time to see me get rejected.
no, but like those schools, the best part are relations. Like if you go there, imagine how much important people would attend, how much people you could really get to know in a more deep level, because it's like high school. I have high school friends that I've known since I was like 6 years old, and today they're my closest friends. Stanford, well, it's not the same, but it's like the same principle. If you pass a lot of time with somebody, or like if you don't have like a really bad time with them, at the end of the day, they're going to be part of you, be part of your friends, and you are like a combination of the people you pass the most time with. So
Yeah,
will like keep help you grow in a certain way.
yeah, so true, so true.
And yeah, I had an I didn't want to go to college. I didn't want to, but um, the all the good part of college, the relations, the getting away from your mama's basement. um, I got an opportunity to apply to universities to France.
Mm.
I'm not French. Like French isn't even my second language. Like
Mm,
that's a really big risk for me to apply. Well, if I get accepted, well, I can apply to all the universities I want. The things to get accepted. uh,
yeah,
Applying to an university in France, it's like so crazy to think about. I'm a little kid from Costa Rica. I, I live in Central America too. I can be going on another continent that doesn't even speak my second language to study.
It's crazy.
That's what I like about college. That's what I would love to go to college. But if I do not get accepted, I don't know what I would do. I would probably will make the same decision as you, so you can gap year to think. Because I really don't know like what can we do.
Yeah, it's hard. It's difficult.
Speaking about France, what you went to a French public high school, how much, like a year?
Like 7 months around then.
And what were like the most shocking differences between education in the US and education in France?
Definitely, just the atmosphere that you're around. And I think something I've learned through getting many comments about this is that it's very dependent on the school, and the area you live in. But at least compared to where I live in the United States, the kids are very respectful. You listen to your teacher, you don't talk back, you don't argue, you don't yell. But in France, the kids are like throwing things across the class. They're like yelling at the teacher. They're like rolling up like joints behind me in the seat behind me. I was like, is this school or am I in a zoo or something? Like it's like everyone's acting wild. I was like, what is this? Um, so for me, that was like the biggest shock. Every day felt like a movie, and like you go outside and it's like a smoke break, and then all the teachers are smoking, all the kids are smoking. And you're like, what? I thought this was like a stereotype, but it's actually true. And in terms of the education, it was relatively similar to actually, things we studied in the United States, but it was just like a year or two behind. So a lot of stuff that I actually already knew, which was surprising. But yeah, I guess that was the main difference for me. Is just like, is this actually school? This place is crazy.
And like the people, how would you compare like the people at your school, your classmates, to the class that like younger younger people, more crazy?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the biggest difference, I don't know. I don't want to like generalize and say that like French kids are less mature,
No,
but from
no.
my experience, it felt like, I don't know, like coming there as a foreigner, it's very, I don't know, it's scary, to like go to a different school. You don't know anyone, you don't speak the language. And I don't think they knew how to welcome me in a way where I felt isolated. And maybe that's a sign of like not being as mature. Whereas like in the United States, it feels a bit more welcoming and a bit more community, even if it sometimes is superficial. It's like, are we really friends? But people are still nice. In France, it's more like, all right, bye, we're going home. It was a lot harder for me to become friends with people in France, like very difficult.
How was the language barrier for you?
Hard, hard. It was very tiring, like I'd be exhausted trying to listen to French all day long. And there wasn't a lot of opportunities for me to, speak because you're just sitting in class. And then I'd be so tired, I'd go home, I'd run and I'd go to bed. So it became very hard for me to learn how to actually speak, even though I was in France, which sounds kind of weird. But yeah, it was, I thought I would learn it like this, and I ended up struggling a lot with it actually.
So, but your 7 months, like out of the 7 months, your language should have improved.
Oh no, it did. It improved a lot. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I could understand very well by the time we were there, or by the time we left. But not as much as I thought it would, because I was still living with my family and we were speaking English at home, and I wasn't always culturally immersed, if that makes sense.
What part of France you went?
The south of France. So we were in Aix, which is like 30 minutes from Marseille.
Oh, that's a nice place.
Yeah, no, it was beautiful. I mean, it was an incredible place. Yeah.
And oh, but like when you just came to France, you know a little of French or not at all?
a little bit, but not really enough. I knew basic words and I had studied it some in school, but the way we teach language in America is you're not really actually learning that much.
But when you received the news that you would go to France, how did you like react it? Because you didn't know much about French.
Yeah. I mean, Ari was actually part of the reason we went is that my mom was like, we could maybe do this. And I was like, let's please do it. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Even though I didn't know much about, where we'd be living, I just wanted to get out, and just to try something new.
So like the entrepreneurship spirit just called you. Yeah, let's
Yes,
get out of let's seek discomfort and
exactly.
go to
Let's do it.
new adventures.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I recently saw that you went to Uzbekistan, I think.
Azerbaijan. Yeah.
Azerbaijan. Okay.
Yeah.
And oh yeah, I I messed up that country.
That's fine.
Uh,
You're fine. I
how
didn't even know it existed before I went, so you're fine.
how was the trip?
I mean, really eye-opening, I've never been anywhere in that region or part of the world, so it was really, really, really awesome. Yeah.
Um, but what did you do? You went 5 days, I think.
Yeah. So it was a 5-day trip where we were guided around the whole country. So we kind of went in a circle and we visited just like a lot of the main regions, and we got to see, beautiful places. We got to try incredible meals, and essentially, yeah, we just got taken on a guided tour around the country, with a group of maybe 10 other
Okay.
other YouTubers and journalists and vloggers and bloggers as well.
You went like in a content creator atmosphere.
Yes, essentially, yeah.
Oh, and you were invited to it.
Yeah, invited, yeah.
That seems really nice too.
Very nice. Yeah, I never expected to do something like this. Like, I was like, why would you guys invite me, or why are you inviting me out here?
Yeah.
A bit of imposter syndrome, but yeah, I'm so fortunate that I had that experience. It's just incredible.
But okay, what are the things you like the most about? Okay, let's ask like about France, but also about Azerbaijan.
The things I like the most about each.
Yeah, I think that in France you can speak more because you went 7 months, then
Yeah.
you went 5 days.
Yeah. I think my favorite part about France was just it didn't feel stressful. Like the atmosphere and the culture was very like relaxed in a good way, where if you in America, if I'm like, all right, let's go out to eat, it feels like, oh, that's a waste of time. That's not productive. We could be getting work done. Like that's kind of what it feels like to live here. It's always like you're chasing, you're hustling, and there's not the same amount of respect for hanging out with people and engaging in things that aren't productive. And so in France, it felt like you could go out and have a 2-hour lunch or 3-hour lunch or a long meal, and it felt normal, and people appreciated that a lot more. And so I loved that because it made me just calm down, and it was like a slower way of life that felt like people really appreciated it. And although I only had a small glimpse of Azerbaijan, my favorite part I think was, I don't know, because I was taking in so much at once. Like I didn't know this place existed before I went, and I think I was just honestly surprised about how similar it was in certain ways to my own life in the United States. It's like people can live in different areas around the world, but we all get hungry, we all get tired, we all hang out with our friends, we all eat meals together, we all hang out. Like it's a very similar life, which I wasn't expecting, maybe because I'm like naive to a certain degree, but I don't know, I think I just loved how it wasn't as scary as I thought it would be, which sounds weird. Like I expected it to be not like run down, but like it made me happy to see how happy the people were living there. When you look at it from the media perspective, the news perspective, you would imagine that everyone would kind of be living a hard life, and that they aren't. I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it
Like
does.
it seemed a lot more beautiful and much better than the way it was portrayed. And I think that alone made me just really enjoy it. But I don't know if I can speak enough on things that I really like about it, because I never had a long period of time where I could really live there.
A lot of places around the world are seen as in medias are as not much how nice they really are. Let's say, for example, Latin America. You say, "Oh, Latin America, it's dangerous. You can get robbed," and yeah, you can. Like you can get robbed everywhere around the world. But Latin America has so nice places. The beaches here, just beautiful. They're magnificent. It's a spiritual experience to go to a beach here.
Yeah.
Argentina, they have the glaciers, the well-known glaciers, and like in Brazil, it's such a country I would love to go. I have never been, but all the beautiful things that Brazil has, but is seen in the media as, oh no, don't go to Brazil. Brazil is dangerous. They will rob you. Something bad will happen. But all these countries, we're humans. We have the same primal needs. We need to sleep, eat, um, do the same stuff. We convive with each other. We all have friends. Like we're just humans trying our best. And yeah, we may not live in a really well-developed country as France, maybe as the US, maybe as Canada, maybe, but places around the world is so beautiful that, and some places are perceived not as beautiful as they really are because of that.
Yeah, it's interesting how our perceptions are created, because you think of the United States as some, like incredible place, or some people do who talk to me, they're like, oh, the United States, it's like an escape, it's like land of opportunity, like the life there must be so much better than where I live. I'm like, people don't view America for what it really is, which is like, I'm not saying it's not an incredible place, but like people still get shot here. There's like school shootings, like there's crazy dangerous things that happen. But if for some reason, if it was a different country, people would be like, oh my God, never travel there, never go there, it's dangerous, the people are awful. But since it's like bigger countries, you can get away with it. It's like, well, what is that?
The power of the media.
Yep.
And in France, oh, that made me think a lot. So you have less classes in France, let's say in high school. Your normal day has less classes than a normal high school in the US.
Oh yeah. In France, I had like maybe 3 classes on average a day, sometimes 4. And it was like, all right, you have math 3 times a week and maybe science 2 times a week. But in the United States, you have usually 7 classes a day. So it's every class you're taking, you have every single day. So boom, 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 boom. Next day, the same thing. So in France, it's structured similar to how college in the United States is structured, where you have different classes on different days, which was very nice, because in America, it's just like overwhelming.
Yeah. How much time to launch you had in the US compared to the time in France?
So in the US, it was honestly around 40 minutes, maybe 45. And in France, it was always between, at least for my schedule, between like 2 to 3 hours, sometimes 4. I think there's one day a week where I had a 4-hour lunch, and I loved it.
So you have 2-hour lunch every.
Oh yeah, every single day.
More.
Oh yeah, so most days it was basically averages around 3 hours. It's like, am I really going to school, or am I just kind of like, am I living at home? It feels like vacation, It's like, it was nice.
Is this real? Does you only have 3 classes of math a week? That's paradox.
Sounds nice. Yeah.
And what do you see? Okay, I know this is really difficult to think about, but it's difficult to think what you would be doing 1 year down the line. But in seeing the bigger scale, what do you see yourself doing 10 years from now, let's say?
Well, I can probably tell you what I want to do in the next 10 years, which is I want to create a space that's like a physical space, like a location, which is like, Perspectopia is like in our minds, like my idea of it. It's like an online community, but something that I've felt like there's an absence of is a place for you to go if you're a young creator, and you don't have access to resources. You don't know what to do, where to go, who to talk to, and it's a very like isolating process. And I want to create like a almost not like a school, but a place where you can go for young creators where they can learn everything, almost like an incubator where like you could go there for 6 months and learn how to, you know, tell stories through film, where you learn how to, write books. And it's a place for young people to go. And maybe they go there on a gap year, in between college or high school and college. It's like, I don't know what I would do with my life, but I'm interested in film. But I've got really lucky with YouTube where I can monetize my videos and make enough money to live out on my own. But I got extremely lucky. And I think there's so many kids out there with a passion for film and creative things, but it's really hard for them to go out there and like do it full time and learn from the best people. So I want to create like, imagine like a giant warehouse where you could like live there, hang out with people, work there, and have like a real life utopia for the next generation of content creators, which is like a very big idea. And like, I don't know, like what if they're Perspectopia hotels, where it's like hotels are normally like a place where you just go to sleep and then you leave, but what if they're like giant rooms where people were to hang out, and like play games together? What if there's a basketball court or a soccer, stadium in the basement and people would have fun? Or, there could be an arcade and a fun like community based hotel where people could live. So I think in the future, I want to bring kind of those ideas to life, and I'll probably continue to make films and YouTube videos in the meantime, and maybe a media production company. But I'd love to just create things that are much bigger than myself.
You see yourself as a film producer in the future?
Yes, I think. Yeah,
Really,
I would love. Go ahead.
that's really interesting.
Yeah, I think I want to try it out. I don't know if it's something I'll do for the rest of my life, but maybe for 2 or 3 years, that's something that I devote all my time to. But I'm definitely interested in, I think that videos and movies and films can really change people's lives. And I love that, I love the feeling a movie gives you,
How does it felt when you had like your first YouTube hit?
It felt incredible. Yeah, it's something that you dream about for so long and you spend so many hours, thinking about, working towards, and I mean hundreds of hours. And yeah, I remember it so well. I was just so happy all the time, running around the house like it's like winning the lottery. It actually kind of feels like that.
Can you tell us like the story of it? What video it was, all of that?
Yeah. Yeah. So it was one of my French public school videos. They both were starting to go viral at the same time. And I was in school one day and I was just finished class and I was like checking my analytics app on my phone. And YouTube has these like little like lines. I don't know if you have the YouTube Studio app, but you can see like how many views you're getting in real time. And they were all very constant. And I get out of class and I refresh it and one goes up higher. I was like, what was that? Like that means more people are watching my videos. What's happening? I go to my next class. I get out. I refresh, boom, it's even higher this time. I'm like, oh my God, what is happening? Like, I've never gotten 100 views in an hour. I was like freaking out. And like the next day, I'm like, and it's like 10,000 views in an hour. I'm like freaking out, like, oh my God, this is it. This is it. You know, it's like telling all my friends, like I had like a second screen open on my laptop that was like, I had the real time like subscriber count going. I was just like, oh my God, oh my God. And so it was like my French public school videos were going viral at that time. And then, you know, yeah, it was just bliss. You know, it's just like I never thought this would happen, but I kind of did think it would happen. Like I really wanted it to, but I didn't know if it actually would. And it was just like, ah, wow, you know.
There's a quote that says, "No dream is just a dream." Like
I like that.
if you dream of it, you'll have it in your mind, and if you do something about it, it will be a reality, in my opinion.
Oh no, I fully agree.
I never thought I were going to talk to people I saw on YouTube. I never thought I were going to talk to a Premier League soccer player. Like that's like I didn't believe it. I wanted it to happen because
Yeah.
I watched I'm a big Joe Rogan fan. So I watched Joe Rogan talk to these extremely incredible people that I've known so much. Well, not I don't know them, but I know a lot about them.
Yeah.
And but like the Kevin Hart podcast episode, that hit it so hard to me. Like I don't know if you watched it.
I watched parts of it, yeah.
It's like just crazy to think about. And I watched him as a comedian, as a funny dude, and to hear his story, and to hear how he told it, how his mom helped him so much, how all of that happened, how he went from doing jokes in a corner in Philadelphia to where he is now. Those were things that I really do appreciate and I really do love. And I said, hey, I dream to talk to people like that. But I dreamed about it. I never thought I would do it, but no dream is just a dream. So yeah, like
I love that.
now I'm starting this. Like I don't have nothing. I have my computer, a suit because I love suits, and that's it. That's all I have. And let's see how far this can go. But I really think it can be really big because what I would love to do is to talk from people all over the world because there's not only English, there's a big public in Latin America, but there's not only Latin America, there's Africa too, and they speak other languages. So I would love to speak their language and do interviews create a really, really big public speaking a lot of different languages. And that seems like a really nice idea. But like right now I'm just enjoying the process of talking to really, really incredible people like you. And
well, thank you. Yeah.
yeah.
I love that. I love that so much. I love just the big dreams, and it's crazy what can happen when you just send one email and that's all it takes. You know, no one's truly out of reach. You know, nothing's really that hard. Like it's hard, but it's not really impossible, you know. It just takes one email, one connection. Like sometimes it takes months of work beforehand, but you know, yeah, I just love what you're saying. A dream isn't just a dream, or
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like that. It's from Tom Cruise said it.
Okay.
Yeah. And yeah, I never thought you were going to answer, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah. And when I saw your videos, your reply, I was like, oh, no way. It's great. And let's say there's another quote. I forgot of who said it, but it goes like, this is something crazy too. The present, it's like the less important, well, not important, but no, the present is like the time that you pay like less attention to.
Mm,
You're always thinking about the future. You're always thinking about, oh, what would I do? What would I study? How would my enterprise go? And you're always thinking about the past, like, oh, see all those good memories. Oh, see, I remember when I went here and I did this and I talked to him and her and I had all this good time. But you never are paying much attention to the present. But that's
yeah.
something going to change because you may always be thinking about the future and the past, but how much people do they really spend thinking about the present? That's not much. And the present is like the shortest amount of time because you're here right now, but one day passes and that's the past. And then you will think about it as the past, but not as the present. Like something that I think about like all the time. Like I'm here right now talking to you. I'll see this video in a couple of days or hours or I don't know. And I'll think about it like, oh, that's the past. I had such a good time talking, but it's a past. And now that's it's really the present. It's like I don't really like
It's hard to be present, you know?
yeah.
I think it's difficult for a lot of people because you always kind of have to be thinking about the future in order to, you know, because you need a plan, you know? Like it's hard to find a balance between, you know, planning so you can have a good life, you know? Um, but then yeah, I don't know where I was going with that, but I know exactly what you're saying. Maybe
Yeah.
it's good I wasn't thinking too far ahead because I'm thinking in the present moment. So I have no thoughts, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if you're too much in the future, life can go by really fast and then it's over, you know? It's like when you are truly present, I think it slows down. And I think yeah, it's hard, you know, it's hard to do so.
Yeah. Well, I love quotes. Another quote like if you don't stop and stay around for a while, life will pass so fast.
I love that one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's another quote. Another really good quote too. Yeah, I remember the first time that you're talking like your boom video. I haven't got a boom video yet. But the most boom video it is a short that had 400 views. And
Mm.
400 views. Like my videos have less than 100 or 800, like kind of more or less like that. But 400 views in a video, that made me really like, whoa. But
Yeah.
I cannot think about getting 10,000 views. Like, is that real? Does that exist?
Yeah. It's crazy. It's funny how things change because I can see like parts of my old self and you where like I would get like no views in my videos. And I was like, oh my God, imagine getting 1,000 views on a video. And it's crazy how you change over time because now if a video gets like if it gets like 30,000 views, I'm like, oh God, like what happened? Like that's terrible, you know? But if it was like 2 years ago, I would have been like it's funny how, you know, things change over time.
You started your channel at what age?
I was 15.
At 15. And you made like how much videos until you got the 10,000 view video?
So I made 50 videos while living in France, and while by the time I left, I only had like 1,400 subscribers, and so it was like maybe 8 or 9 months until my channel actually started to blow up and like get attention. So it was a long period of time where I never really had a boom or an explosion of like growth. So it was a long period of time of just like, well, hopefully someday, and then like 3 million views in 1 month, and I'm like, what is this?
Yeah, it's crazy to think about it because I watch so much YouTube. I use, well, not as much as I did in the past because in the past you may consider me an addict. I was like 4 hours every day or more. Now I'm like
Yeah.
less, like 1 hour. But that's still a lot of time, but I've used it so much and I've learned so much about it. And getting to create, I was like, how do YouTubers do videos? Is it possible to me to do some, like, or is it like just fake? No, it's real and you can do it, and it's about how much you dream. How is your dream? Go and get it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. I think there's so many people who are so close to doing incredible things, but they don't even realize that they can. It's like, what if you were still, thinking about, oh, what if I did these interviews? Maybe I could, maybe they reach out, but I don't know. It feels impossible. And then here you are, because you
Yeah.
actually took that first step to getting towards it. And then, like, it's crazy how many things open up for you in life. I think that's something I've learned is like, so many things seem impossible because it's like not that many people are able to do them, but then you realize not that many people actually try. And if all you do is kind of try and you're self-aware enough to learn to how to improve, so many things become, reality. It's crazy. But all you have to do is dream and then be like, let me start doing it. And then, like, here we are.
Yeah, do that first step. That'll like make a huge difference between not doing it at all, because who knows.
Yeah.
And when you went to France, you went with your family, right?
Yeah.
Outside like of your friends, what do you miss the most?
In France.
Yeah. Or about US, about your home.
Wait. When I was living in France, what did I miss? Or
Yeah,
what do
the
I miss
7 months that you went, what was the things that you missed the most?
Nothing really.
Nothing?
Not really. I loved it there. I was just like, all right, I'm making these videos. I barely have school. I feels like I'm on vacation. Like, kids are crazy here. It's just like, hey, this place is kind of cool. And like, I kind of forgot, not saying I forgot about people at home, but I was just like, I love living here. Um, Maybe I missed little bits of food and I don't know, like, I think I just,
I would have thought that the thing you'll miss the less was food.
it's like certain foods, like maybe like I wish I had this certain type of chip, or like I missed Mexican food because that like doesn't exist in France. But, like, little things, like, it doesn't really matter. Um, but it felt like such a dream to me where I was like, I was so far away from home, like mentally too, where I was just like, I just like living here. So I didn't even think about home. I wasn't thinking about the past. I was very present in France, I think is a good way to, connect it to our other conversation. Um, and so that just, I don't know, it's just like, this is my life here. I didn't even think about my other life that often, if I'm being honest. Besides friends, I would think about them a little bit.
How was food in France?
Oh, so much better because the government actually cares about its people and they regulate the food. Like in America, there's so many chemicals and pesticides, and it just doesn't feel as fresh. And in France, you actually feel better because it's like good quality food, and there's markets that we go to often, and everything was like ethically sourced, and so like you'd feel better eating it. And yeah, I think there's just a lot more. I don't know. Yeah, I liked it more.
Yeah, in the US, I see like the photos of the lunch, and it's like a pizza, a milk chocolate, and some bad beans.
It's not even a stereotype. I had that in elementary school and in high school. Like, it's scary. The food, that's the thing. In the United States, there's like no appreciation or like attention to detail on the things that actually matter. It's like, hey, food is actually really important. Like, we should be paying more attention to this. But that's certain things about America where I'm like, I really don't like that it's like this. Um, it's unfortunate, but that's just kind of the capitalist society that we're in right now.
And right now, you're in the US.
Yeah.
So this gap year, what you think you would mostly stay in the US?
Or can you say that again?
Like this gap year, where do you think you'll be?
Everywhere. I mean,
Okay.
hopefully COVID is fine enough. Like I'm vaccinated. Hopefully, like that's good for me to travel. But um, I think this year I'm going to be traveling more within the US.
Okay.
But next year I want to go on like a world tour where I live with subscribers.
Ooh.
So where you
Oh,
know if you were like, hey Max, you can stay at my house for a week, I'll fly out and I'll live with you and film that whole experience, like hanging out with your family, you taking me to the beach, and just like seeing what your life is like for a week and then making a video about it. And then I fly from Costa Rica to maybe Russia, film a video there, go to South Africa. I want to do that for a couple of months.
we have, well, in Costa Rica, uh, we if you're vaccinated, it's easily for the American, well, the tourism in general to come.
Mm.
So hey, if you want to stay a week, I have a week
Yeah.
in September. You can go to the beach if you want to. The sunsets are like purple here.
Really?
Like they're
Mm.
you, you cannot believe when you're in sunsets. I didn't believe, like, in I went to the beach in summer, this summer. Right now I'm not. Right now I'm in school. But I saw a sunset that was like so magical. It seemed like it was from a Disney movie, and I was part of it.
Yeah. Oh,
It had a castle. I'll later send you the video. It it is a small it was in a small beach, but it had some a hotel like in the top of the mountain of the beach, and it seems like a castle. So watching that sunset that was like
wow.
purple, a light blue, and orange, and
Oh,
all that, and seeing the castle, I remember that. I will remember that image like for the rest of my life, because
mm,
whew, that's really that's really incredible.
yeah. Mm, I'm jealous.
But um, and what are the things you like the most about the US then?
I mean, I think there's so many things that I just take for granted here, that it's just such a privilege to grow up where I do, especially within the United States. Like, I have so much opportunity. Like, my life is safe. I'm not scared to leave my house. People here are nice. And I mean, I think it's the feeling that anything is possible, like I can meet anyone, I can start any business, I can grow any business. Like, it kind of feels like in video games, there's like a sandbox mode where like anything is possible, you have unlimited resources. And like, obviously there's a privilege within that, but it's just the feeling that I can make anything happen. And I think I really like that. Whereas in other countries, it feels more bureaucratic, and it's like there's a lot more systems in place. Where in America, it feels like more of a free for all. But of course, like I'm a white guy saying that, so it's a lot easier for me. Um, but I think I'm growing to appreciate that more and more. But I think also the more I travel, the more I realize that, like, I mean, there's still beautiful places everywhere around the world. It's like, I don't know. I guess that's the main thing for me.
The opportunity you have to,
Yeah.
hmm,
Yeah.
that's interesting too.
What would you have guessed I would have said? Like, what did you think I liked the most about the US before I said anything?
Well, I thought you were going to say more about that feel of home,
Mm,
that sentiment that you're in home, like
yeah.
the
Yeah.
Sweet Home Alabama song, like
Yeah.
that feeling. But like when you when I ask you what you miss the most about the US when you went to France and you said nothing, I think you
I
don't
did.
have that much.
I mean, look, it's an incredible place, but when you grow up there, I guess you don't realize I don't know, I guess you take it for granted, in some ways, it's like, all right, this place is all right. It's like, I don't know. It's awesome here, but like I'm used to it, so
When you
yeah.
get used to stuff, then you don't see them as special, as if you,
Yeah,
yeah, like
yeah,
when I,
because for me, oh, go ahead, go
no, no,
ahead.
like when I had, right now that I'm seeing my dog, I remember the first weeks I had my dog. It felt like, holy cow, I have a dog. This is magical. He's walking and he sees me and he wants to play. But after years of having a dog, you don't like, he's still incredible. I still love him, but you don't see him as magical as you did the first time you went. So
Yeah, it's like, oh, I have to walk him again today. you know, it's
yeah, first,
so true. I mean,
yeah,
yeah,
first world problems.
yeah. That's the thing about life is that we get hedonically adapted to things, and it becomes less exciting over time. But that's why I don't want to limit myself to just doing one thing in the gap year. Like I'm open to doing whatever excites me. Do you watch Kelly Wakasa?
I don't know.
Okay, never mind. Well, he has this motto that's do what excites. And I think I really like that because something could excite you for this period of time in your life, and then maybe it wears off, and then you try something else that excites you. And I think that's also going back to what I like about the United States is that it feels like you can try a bunch of different things and you're not just like stuck for the rest of your life here.
Hmm, yeah. Oh, but and what has been the most beautiful beach you've ever been? In France?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, for France. Yeah, in France, definitely. Like Les Calanques,
What was,
like outside of Marseille, is in like Cassis. It's just like these beautiful rocks. The water was like clear blue. You could see right into it, and there's trees around it. It's just like, oh my god. So I think France wins. Uh,
to me, the
yeah,
problem with beaches that are in the right side is that you cannot see the best part of the beach, which is the sunset. So I don't know, like Bordeaux, which is like in the west.
hmm
I imagine like if I want to go to a beach in France, yeah, you have like Nice and Marseille and all,
yeah,
but you don't have the sunset, and that really
yeah. You
makes
do.
me sad. Yeah, you
There's
do.
a there's a sunset. There's a sunset.
You don't see like when the sun goes like this.
Oh yeah, that's true. I don't even know. I guess you might. Or no, that was in like northern France actually. Yeah, but I feel like you can have a sunset that looks beautiful without seeing the sun, right? Maybe that's just
It's like
maybe.
The Lion King movie. I always remember the picture of the sunset going down.
Yeah.
Okay, you can, in real life, it's way better. Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing with me. If I will go to a beach, I will go to a beach that's in the west side because I cannot live without the sunset. If I'm in the beach, I the only thing I want to see is the sunset. So,
Fair
well,
enough. I guess it is called a sunset. So
well, but it isn't the only thing I want to see. You get the point.
yeah.
And in actuality, what what's your passion right now? Like what's the thing that you said that you have like little passions every now and then? What's the actual passion of yours?
Right now, it sounds kind of funny, but like it's learning to enjoy filming videos again. Like for a while, I like didn't enjoy it as much because it felt like work. And so for me, it's like rediscovering what I felt 2, 3 years ago, like rediscovering my love for it. And I think I'm feeling that again, which is really exciting. Um, and I'm playing guitar more often. I'm still running a lot. And yeah, I think for me right now, I'm just I'm starting to talk to a lot more people and meet people in my life, and I think that's been just really fun, to expand my network and make more friends around the world, I think.
Yeah, talk to different people around the world, and it will make you.
Yeah.
There's a study that says that if you get all people from the same race into like to do a homework or to solve a problem, they wouldn't do it as efficient or as good or as really or as perfect as if you had like one person of every race, because like people from all over the world have different perspectives of life. They have lived different stuff, they know stuff that you don't. So when you get all of that perspectives into one room to solve one thing or various problems, they will do it in such a good way. So if you one day want to build an enterprise, build something huge, which I know you need to have variety in it. That way,
Yeah.
you'll have a really, really good enterprise, man.
Yeah. I agree.
And you have maybe some questions for me? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, what-
I mean, honestly, I don't know that much about you. Like, being honest, like, I didn't look you up. So you're in your last year of high school, right?
Yeah. Here we finished high school in November.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
and we get into like the scholar year. It starts in February and ends in November, because like from September, November it's like winter here, and summer here we have like such a crazy weather. Right now it's raining. It's
Mm,
it's August. Like in Europe right now, they're burning hot. So
yeah.
our summer, it's like December, January, February. So those are the months we have.
Wow. I didn't actually know that. And so you said you applied to a school in France, right? Are you applying to any other like universities in the US or any other countries?
Um, in the in the US, I will not, because well, they cost like, you know how much they cost. They aren't cheap at all. Um, I will apply to universities here. They're really good. They have international connections. But what I would love is to get out, to discover more. So if I were to stay here, I would need to be here like 3 years to then go out with a scholarship. But what I want is to go out right now, and France gives me that opportunity, because thanks to, well, last year in the pandemic, I I wanted to do something productive, so I started learning French, and
Mm,
but I didn't have anything to do because school was so easy. It was virtual. I did
yeah.
I didn't had I played basketball, but clubs were closed, so I didn't have to go to basketball. So I didn't do anything in my time, like just school, which was really, really easy, as I said. So I started hitting it hard with French, and in May I did the DELF B2 exam. I don't know if you know. Uh, okay, like that's the exam. If you pass that exam, it means that you have enough level to go to university in France or to
Mm,
work and to diplomatics. You need to have another language degree. So if you want to be a diplomatic and be able to say, "Hey, I speak French," uh, you, you need to have that level or more. So I passed it. I
yeah.
have a funny story, because I was the only in all the country in we do it twice a year. in the French alliance here in this country. They do it twice a year, and I was the only minor out of all the country to do the exam.
Wow,
So
that's crazy. Congratulations.
no, thank you a lot. That was French was for me like my major hobby. I wake up, I will see TV programs in French. Then
Oh wow.
then I'll see French YouTubers, and then
Yeah.
I'll see when I'm eating lunch, I see like a French series, and when I go to I tried to read a French book. So yeah, it was like French all day.
Yeah. Oh my God. There's dedication. A lot more than I was when I was in France. But that's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Like, wow. And how long was it? Like the period of time from when you started learning French to taking that test? Was
No.
it a couple months or?
Well, I had French at school, but
Okay.
I had like French as an American school. Like, yeah, they teach us French, but you don't really. If you go to France, you cannot speak to a French person.
Yeah.
So I knew the basics. But then when I started seeing French TV, it was when I really got into it. Because if you want to learn something, to do something, you need to search a way to find it pleasurable. So
Yeah.
I love cinema too. I love series. I love watching movies. So I started seeing cinema in French. So that's what got it going. And probably it was around like until that time that I started like being a maniac until I did the exam, like about 7 months or 8 months.
Wow. Yeah. That's incredible, dude.
But I said we do it twice a year, right? We do it in May and in November. I was supposed to do it in November this year, that the embassy here doesn't give you like the results and the diploma and all the things you need to apply to the university in France. If you do it in November, they may give it to you in January or February. And the program I will be doing is at most I need to be finished at January to apply. I have until the 17th of January to apply to the university that year. So it was like a really, really big risk. And I did it in May. They gave me the results, but like I got the diploma like 1 week ago. So
Oh wow.
So yeah, I see I got the right route, because if I were to do it in November, they would probably give it to me in February, and like had until January to send all this stuff. So
Yeah.
Wow. That will obligate me to take a gap year.
Dude, that's so awesome. Were there any points where you were like, I want to give up, I can't do this? Or did you just enjoy it the whole way?
No, obviously you have points where you get tired. But,
yeah.
I knew it was for a really good end goal. So I started doing it as pleasure, as just like a hobby of mine. But then I started investigating, because I've always wanted to get out to discover new countries, new continents. So I saw the opportunity. I saw what I needed to do. I saw the first step, as you said, and I always knew it was really important to keep going, because that's the only way that when I go to do the exam, I would pass it. That's the only way. So yeah, I had days where I didn't practice nothing. Like we all have those days when you just feel lazy, when you wake up, when you like turn off the alarm and sleep like 2 hours more than you're supposed to. We all have those days. Yeah.
That's such an inspiring story. I love that so much. Wow.
Thank you, man. Yeah. And now let's see where this can go. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? And when we can speak like 2 years from now, and my channel have like millions of subscribers, and you may start to create your academy. Like,
Yeah.
it's crazy how time passes. Like,
And it can happen, like 100% can happen. That's the best part. It's not like a dream because
Yeah.
we can do it,
yeah, we can really like go and that will get me hyped up. Yeah,
It's
it
that
can
feeling.
really happen. Like, that's the
Yeah.
best part of it.
Such a good feeling, I love feeling excited about life, and like I love that emotion. That's what I want to share with the world, because I don't feel like enough people feel the way we do right now, but it's so
Yeah.
special,
Yeah, we're there's a song too. It's called "We're Golden."
Mm,
Yeah, I love that song too. Yeah, that's what life is all about. To be inspired of the next day, to wake up feeling, hey, I have a good life. I have to chase my dreams. They'll not chase themselves.
yeah.
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 And
Mm.
something more.
What?
Something more. Some other question.
Oh, yeah. So let's say you get into a university in France. Do you know what university you're applying to specifically? Like, where in France is it?
I had to apply to 3 I had the program allowed me to apply to 3 universities, only 3. So I had to be really selective. I applied to the Université de Toulouse to like what I would study would be like business, because that's what I like. And I applied for it. Well, I will apply. I haven't sent the papers yet to the Université de Toulouse, which is like in the south. It's near Marseille. To the which
I
is
know Toulouse, yeah.
yeah, it's like the medium, like it's a high level university, but I really think I can get in. Then I applied for the Bordeaux Université de Bordeaux, to like the same thing, management, and it's a good university. I would say the University of Toulouse, it's better. And I had the Saint Grail, the like the one that I who knows, like your Stanford. I applied for the Panthéon Sorbonne, which is part of the University of Paris, that's like the Harvard of France.
Yeah.
And
I love that though. It's good to reach,
yeah, like yeah, I think I made good decisions. Like, I have a high competitive university that I really think I can get into. Then I have the Université de Bordeaux, which is another really good university, a little bit less good than the Université de Toulouse. And then I have Harvard. I don't care. What happens if I get into the Sorbonne University? Who knows, man?
So many incredible things could happen. Yeah.
Yeah. And if I go there, then that would put me in a point where I don't really know what I would do, because I really love YouTube. So I think I would start like doing vlogs, because imagine doing vlogs in Paris.
Mm.
Yeah, and if like one day you want to go to Switzerland, you can go. One day you want to go to Spain, it's so crazy here.
Yeah.
That would be really good.
Yeah, Europe is amazing for that reason. You can go anywhere just like that, basically.
Yeah. You love you love Casey Neistat?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, we all love Casey Neistat. What I would do it's to try to do like Casey Neistat style vlogs in Europe. So that I think, well, Casey Neistat has never done like daily vlogs in Europe, so I think I can make it happen. There's a lot of cool,
Yeah.
and I will really love to do those vlogs. Don't get me wrong.
I'm excited to see your videos when you get in and you start creating them.
Uh, let's see, let's see. Who knows? Like, that's something that we have right now. We're young. We don't really know what we would do now from 1 year, 5 years, 10 years. So we're always like, we have this feeling of, I don't know, but I'm really happy for whatever comes.
Yeah, exactly. Anything is still possible, you know?
Yeah, it's a win-win scenario either way. Like, I don't care. I will, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. It makes it such a special period of our lives, you know? I love it.
It
Yeah.
really does.
I actually have to head out to dinner in a couple
Yeah,
of minutes.
I was going to say that. Yeah, and thank you a lot for this time talking to me. It's really unique and really good to. Well, no, it's more than that. It's a pleasure. It's something that I never thought I will be doing. And thank you a lot for taking this time to talk to me. And
Of course.
yeah,
Thank you for reaching out and for taking that step. I'm happy to be a part of everything that you accomplish in your life. And I wish you the best of luck with your university applications. And I wish you many more beautiful sunsets where you can watch the sun go down.
Thank you, man. I wish you good too, man. Have a nice day. Enjoy dinner with your family, man.
Thank
Thank
you
you
so much.
very much. Bye. Lovely talking to
Bye.
you.
You too.